Alright, on to game 2 and Hagler pairs, but yeah, that doesn't seem too interesting on this board. My first thoughts looking at the board, well, is Ambassador, right? There's Page though, which is an issue. Well, not an issue, but something you have to think about always. Page means champion is there for you. And you have to ask yourself, well, why do you want champion? The only real reason you want champion here, well, plus actions, yes. But more importantly, I believe, is the defense from Ambassador, which my opponent opens with. You don't want to get hit with Ambassador repeatedly, which is fine. There's no plus buy on the board. There's a couple gaining options, Hagler of course, as well as our trashed Catacombs, if you want to go that way. Pillage will get you spoils. There's also pathfinding, but again, I don't know, with the lack of actual plus buy, it seems like you could just go hard for provinces, especially since that page line puts money in your deck. So my idea for this game here, my opponent opened with the Ambassador, right? I choose to do something a little bit different. Obviously, you could understand Ambassador, right? You know, get 3 cards out your deck and junk your opponent and move on with your life. I decided to go for the Steward instead of the Ambassador. The way I thought about it was, well, if he gives me 1 card and I trash 2, I'm still going places. So I go for the Steward, and long term, after the champion is down, the Ambassador is useless, so you might as well have a Saboteur in your hand. Well, you could get things out of your deck still, but you can't junk your opponent, you can't do any nice tricks of, okay, here you have a province and I'll buy the last one and then the game is over. No, after a champion is down, Steward I think is just a much better card than the Ambassador. And it's not too big a deal if you fall like a little bit behind on the trashing. It's not like super critical that you get the champion right away, I believe. You want to get there eventually, but I mean, it's fine if you don't so quickly, I think. So that's why I go for the Steward, like post champion, thinking a little long term here. My opponent has a Cellar. I didn't pick up a Cellar when I could have. I picked up a second page instead, in line with the money strategy. Right, 2 treasure hunters means 1 more silver, potentially 2 heroes, more gold. Right, my opponent does have the Cellar, and I can understand it. I pick up 1 here to cycle to improve the upgrade exchange. That's the word in the rulebook. Exchange the travelers as quickly as possible. And my stewards have actually behaved quite well up to this point. They've done remarkably well. They haven't collided. I bought a second one even, just because I was receiving some junk from the Ambassador. And they haven't, yeah, they haven't collided till now. So I feel like I'm in a decent position at this point. I trashed quite a bit of cards. I'm decently on my way to the upgrade. Here they collide though, stupid warrior. Well, the warrior didn't cause that. They would have collided anyway, but I'm still gonna go ahead and trash it, not taking money for silvers yet. And going to get a warrior of my own. Cellar shows up here at a nice time too for me here. And yeah, we're on our way. My opponent's a little bit ahead. My page missed the first shuffle, which may account for him being ahead here. And he goes for our Catacombs now, which is, you know, 100% reasonable, given that he has the champion now, right? So he could potentially stick the champion down, then play Catacombs and have draw, which is real good. Which is real good. I don't think he has a Steward at all. So I have 2 stewards, which will be draw. This warrior, I do not exchange it. This is something I like to do with page. I like to, like, if I have excess pages, I leave them all at warriors. I hardly ever exchange a second page into a hero, because the draw is just useful. I find more useful than the treasure gaining from the hero. I hardly ever need it. Do I exchange that? Oh yeah, I do exchange. Okay, well that was the first one then. So I exchange that warrior into a hero, but subsequent warriors I probably won't be so quick to exchange it. Another Catacombs for my opponent, again totally reasonable given that the champion is lurking. We'll probably see it next turn. I get rid of everything here to, oh look, I do have, what am I doing? Okay, so this is the hero. I have a second hero now. because I want to flood my deck with treasure. That is what I'm doing, of course. So I could go for another steward. I could go for an advisor. I did think about advisor. My deck isn't so bad, but what could happen? And again, this is the low risk play, right? What could happen? I play advisor, reveal champion, champion gets lost for a shuffle, and I really don't want that to happen because now these two are just starting to collide, and I have terminals in the hero in another warrior, so I really need to get that champion down to prevent all this collision from happening. Again, pitching everything here, desperately looking for my champion guy, but he doesn't show up on this hand here, unfortunately. But he shows up here with is it a he or is it a she? I'm not sure. Shows up here with 7 coin, and my opponent gets theirs in now, which is 1 turn before me, and 2 catacombs probably means province. Ambassador comes out here for the last time. Well, they're gonna junk me for the last time here, giving me an estate or 2. So yeah, this is the setup we have, right? 8 for my opponent. Guess just checking there to make sure they didn't give away money so that they would not be able to buy province like me here. 7 is going to be a catacombs for me. Need the draw at this point. Warrior followed by catacombs for my opponent. So what is going to happen on the opposite side of the table is a province a turn from here on out, because of they have 2 catacombs, they have 2 warriors now plus the cellar. Yeah, that's too strong. And a steward now. That's too strong, right? So my opponent is just 1 turn ahead of me at this point. All I could do in the end here is just hope that he stalls at some point and I don't, right? Because if both of us stall, then it's just back to square one. So I am going to join now the province race here. This is my first against my opponent's second. I do have 2 estates, but they don't do much. They don't do much. I do have the 2 estates. So this is where, like, you see the ambassador junking was whatever, I think. Like, I could cope with it. And I don't mind the odd cop or 2 if I'm pursuing a money strategy like this. This is just drawing money at this point, right? Catacombs, warrior, big money. Hooray. So this was my idea with the stewards, but I came in a turn late. How much of that was based on different strategy? I don't know. How much of that was based on luck? I don't know. So here, catacombs, triggering the shuffle. I get what I need. Don't cycle with the cellar because there's gold in the back, man. I don't want to see the gold now. I want to see it later. I already have excess money here. Refusing to exchange here again because need the draw, right? Putting green cards into your deck, and I need to be consistent. My opponent falters here, picking up the duchy, and I am not going to falter at this point. I am going to have enough for a province. So we are level on the provinces. He's the duchy ahead. I have the 2 estates, which means he is ahead by the smallest margin possible, the 1 point. I need him to stall again, but that ain't gonna happen. If he stalled last turn, he probably isn't going to stall this turn. I do have the play of trying to trash this catacombs for an estate, but I don't have enough money to make that play. Like, I could have trashed it for an estate and bought province and tied, and I'd have been happy in this position to take that tie, but I can't quite do that. Instead, just gonna fight with our duchy here, although I have enough for province and hope, right? Catacombs not looking good. Not looking good. Steward still not looking good. 2 coins. And province. That's game 2. Alright, see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.